Smith. I don't know if you guys seen this sellout grifter. You know, people thought that he was pro-Trump and he was coming around to the conservative America First side because he was basically saying how embarrassed he was of being a Democrat or the Democrats. But it didn't take soon before long before that black inferiority complex kicks in. The one that they confuse with white supremacy. There's no white supremacy. There's actually just a black inferiority complex, which is why the only people that ever talk about white supremacy are the American communist Marxist blacks, And it's because they spent their entire lives and their parents' entire lives and their grandparents' entire lives envying white people and being jealous of the white family. So that eventually leads to anger. It's kind of like how a super fan of you becomes a fanatic and wants to wear your skin and, and kidnap you and kill you because they love you so much. That's the black community. That's how much they love white people, is that they hate them. He says that this is all Trump ending DEI is really you saying you want white dominance. So you mean to tell me, out of all the other traits that these men that are that they're putting in positions now, all their skills and qualifications, and all you can say is that it's because of white dominance. Why do you feel like these white men are dominating you? It's beyond gay to feel like a man is oppressing you, or you're being attacked racially and you're being dominated. It's just more black delusion, homoerotic nonsense, and you just see so much of it. How can a grown adult man tell you that another man is oppressing him? All I hear is just really rough anal sex. I don't hear anything else when I see men like Stephen A. Smith. And then you got to think about it. These white men who they think are so dominant over them, they really just fetishize over them. It's really just say, yeah, they're envious and they're jealous, but it's like a weird black gay thing too. But listen to him. Look how pathetic he sounds with his argument on why Trump is ending DEI and bringing back meritocracy. Listen to this.
Because when you handle it the way that the Trump administration is handling it, we want the most qualified, we want the smartest, we want this, we want that.
What the hell is wrong with wanting the most qualified and the smartest? Because you're an entitled, spoiled black person, you never felt like you needed to compete. You wanted to be given special treatment because of your disability, and the disability that you claim is being born black. That if you've ever met a black person, they feel that being born black is an automatic disability and they should get a check every month from the government. And that's why they have no problem getting a check every month from the government, because they feel being born black was a disability. You gotta read between the lines on what someone like him is saying, because the rest of them echo this as well. And this is a huge problem in the Republic. We have a huge black problem in the Republic.
What you're really saying is we want white dominance again.
Okay. How the hell do you get we want white dominance from we want the best and the smartest and the most what you're admitting, Stephen A. Smith, is that people that look like you are not the smartest, they're not the most qualified, they're not it's hilarious. It's just hard to explain. Let's bring it back.
We want the most qualified, we want the smartest, we want this, we want that. What you're really saying is we want white dominance again.
Okay. Last time I checked, we're all speaking English. Are you using a separate translator, Stephen A. Smith? How the hell did you translate we want the best and the smartest and the most qualified to white dominance? There was nothing race oriented or description of your skin color oriented in any of the things Trump said. How does it trade? But listen, let's this is a man with a lot of issues. And they platform people like this because they radicalize others with a victimhood mentality, hoping that eventually in the future they are going to help overthrow a government or destroy something on their behalf. I mean, we saw what happened in 2020. These people can be weaponized. I don't have to tell you, but let's listen to him explain himself. We have 59 seconds of this gerbil nonsense of, again, his black inferiority complex, but just listen to what he says, and then keep in mind there's a black inferiority complex here. There's nothing to do with white supremacy. Watch.
That's what you're really saying. You want white dominance. Mm-hmm. Because if you're pointing to DEI, and that's usually pointed towards quote unquote unqualified minorities, because you're always using the word qualified.
Well, actually, DEI was targeted towards the gays. And they specifically ask for the most mentally ill and mentally challenged people. It doesn't get much more mentally challenged than a man who thinks that he's a woman. So these are actually DEIs for gays. It wasn't necessarily for blacks, but for an American black person, everything's about them. Nothing's about it. There's no one else here. It's just black and white. There's no Latinos like myself. There's no Pacific Islanders. There's no Asians. Nobody exists. It's just a black and white world. So keep that in mind as well. Listen to who's saying this. And you're going to notice a pattern because everyone like Stephen A. Smith says this.
Everybody that got a position through DEI is not qualified. We know what you're implying.
That's literally the definition of the point of DEI is putting somebody in position who is not qualified, but you need to meet a racial quota to satisfy ESG requirements to receive funding from some of these big banks and these other institutions top down from the World Economic Forum. DEI comes from ESG. That's literally a requirement. So you're putting somebody in a position that they didn't qualify for, but you have a diversity, equity, and inclusion quota that you meet. That's literally meaning the person didn't qualify, Stephen A. Smith.
You know what you're insinuating.
Really, do you?
Okay. Folks in administration, Pete Hegseth. Oh my God. The nerve of him to just join into the fray and give his quote about making sure qualified people have these jobs. You're the defense secretary.
Well, if you've ever driven through the hood or through some of their neighborhoods where they live, you can understand now why they look so degraded. They don't believe in quality. They don't believe in you can say so much if you just break down what he's saying.
Exactly. Oh my God. The nerve of him to just join into the fray and give his quote about making sure qualified people have these jobs. You're the defense secretary.
What the hell does that have to do with anything? He works for the American government. He lives in this country. He's actually now he is the head of what is it? Homeland? No, he's the defense secretary. These people don't understand. We're all working together because we live in this country that we love. We're here not for money like them. We're here because we want to make this country great. We don't care about the money part. We care about the future. He's focused on the money. So for Pete Hegseth to say anything that has nothing to do with his job and his paycheck, you're not supposed to look at the big picture because he doesn't. He just cares about himself and his cult. He doesn't care about the future. He doesn't care about tomorrow. Why the hell would you expect somebody like Pete Hegseth to not have an opinion about what's best for a country? That's why they're so confused about Doge. Oh, you're auditing, they're auditing and they're doing this and they're not in the Constitution. Yeah, neither is the FBI, the ATF. But yet we have those institutions. You don't have to be an official organization from the government to want to make sure that you're doing the best thing for our government and for our people. Somebody like Stephen A. Smith can never grasp that.
Whose only job prior to this was as a weekend host on Fox News.
That was not his prior job. He was actually a decorated soldier who risked his life for our country so that you could sit here ungrateful and spoiled and protected. You never had the risk of hair on that receding ass hairline to do a damn thing for this country. And you want to sit here and downplay the contributions of a man who put his life on the line for the country. The black inferiority complex. I mean, this video, see, look, just follow this video. This is on the Safe and Effective podcast on Twitter. Because right now we're just going through Twitter X. We're just scrolling. That's how much stuff is going on. We're going to hit the Instagram right after this. But there's so much happening in such a short period of time. Oh, yeah, I remember this. Men in 1944 facing almost certain death. And then men in 2020 facing a 99.99, actually 99.996 survival rate. And I was just telling people that I still have pictures of them wearing a mask like little bitches. I do. I still keep those pictures. And I laugh at them because I remember I was one of the only people, my cousin and I, who wouldn't wear the mask. And we would get into it at places. We would get kicked out of clubs and bars. And we just ended up renting out a club and having like secret parties in there just so that nobody would have to wear masks or sit down at their tables and you can like be a normal person. That's how bad things were in 2020 and how freaking ridiculous it was. Hilarious. But if, you know, instead of arguing or fighting, you just complied. And that just defeats the whole purpose of being an American. The best part about being an American is you can just tell somebody to go F themselves and go to F the hell. And if you want to engage in mutual combat, that is also an option as well. I love being an American. So another thing that's happening is Trump is saying that he's actually offering the entire CIA the option to take a buyout and quit. They're offering that to the entire CIA staff after just a few days of investigating the USAID. They found something. But if you think about it, why did they want to wipe out JFK? JFK one time said that he wanted to splinter the CIA into 1,000 pieces and scattered into the wind. That's a very extreme statement. What did JFK know? What did he discover about the CIA to say that he wanted to obliterate them? And now that then a short time